What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Eman Noisette. Want to thank each and every one of y'all for taking the time to come and hang out with your boy. We have got a couple of things to talk about today. We are going to talk about a weapons update. We have got some updates for the DCU, and then of course, it looks like we got some Marvel mess. Okay, some messy Marvel beef stuff that's been going on. And you know what? I just said, you know what, let's just get into some of it. I'll weigh in on some of that. And of course, we have some other things, but let's see first and foremost who has come out today. Let's give some quick shout outs. Paulette, good to see you. King Chad is here. Appreciate you coming through. What is going on? Al, I see you. Only Samke, hello. Let's see. Johnny, good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. 60 plus. Hello. Is that Miss Harper? Come on through, Miss Harper. Appreciate you always. Ray Guns, hello, hello. Corey, appreciate you coming through. My man Nelson is back. Good to see you. Mary, hello, hello. My man Derek, good to see you, man. It's been a while. Good to see you. Let's see who else. Animals, hello, hello. Raw, good to see you. Mama J, I see you. Mitch, appreciate you coming through. Christy, hello, hello. What's going on? Tracy, appreciate you. My man Puma is here. MC Harris, good to see you as well. Tasha, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Callow, how you doing? What else? We got Deborah. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Oh, you doing a replay? All good. Shout out to the replay gang, by the way. Let's see. Gothic Chick is here. Good to see you as well. Talented One, how you doing? Let's see. Who else did I see? Oh, come on through. We got the vets in the building with Kiki West. Good to see you. Tony, hello, hello. D Beach, good to see you too. Let's see. DePaul, hello, hello. Tyra, what is going on? How are you? Raymond, appreciate you coming through as well. Mad, hello. RK Green, hello, hello. Andrew, I see you. Soto, what is up? Who else? I saw Eyes Only, hello. Breeze, hello, good to see you. T-ville, what is going on? Lisa, good to see you again. Appreciate you. Come on through. Kristen Pratt holding it down with the Mod Squad. Thank you so much for being here. ILL, INI, what is going on? Kid Mello, where you at? Kid Mello, I see you as well. Shout out to you. And thank you for everybody who is making it out or will be making it out. Appreciate it. I'm going to do my best because I know it's already late. And but we didn't have a lot of news, so I'm gonna try to, keep it nice and condensed. So I do not believe, unless y'all got a whole bunch of stuff that y'all want to talk about, that we are going to be here for 3 hours. I don't think we're going to do that. But if there are some interesting topics or something, we could probably entertain it if we got a little time at the end. Let's see. What do we have? Tracy, what'd you say? Are you too cool to have a K-pop, what is that, Demon Hunters? To have watched K-pop Demon Hunters. So good. So it's so funny you mentioned that because my daughters, they love it. They absolutely love it. They've been, singing the songs in the car. They're like, Dad, can you play that song? Yeah, I'm like, what song are you talking about? You're my soda pop. You're my soda pop. I'm like, okay. I have not watched it. But and I don't think they're listening right now. I do plan on taking them to go see it, hopefully, because I think it's actually playing in theaters or something like that. But I think they're doing like a sing along or something. So I do want to go take them to go see it since they love this movie, like they love it. So I will go ahead and check that out. But no, I haven't actually sat down and watched it. But yeah, it's making its rounds on Netflix. Like it's definitely up there. Let's see. Nelson, what you got? Harpo, E-Man, who that red hair crazy looking lady? Listen, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. The mere fact that you have to ask that question lets me know everything I need to know about your viewing habits. So I cannot tell you that. You just, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Nelson, she's not for you. I'm just gonna say that she's not. You don't want to know who she is. Let's leave it like that. You don't want to know who that Ronald McDonald looking lady is at all. Okay. Let's get started with some of these. Oh, hold on. Let's grab this real quick. What's going on, Anthony? Good to see you. I saw Weapons and enjoyed it, but when they got to that running scene with that person at the end, it reminded me of an episode of Mari. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. That's fair. That is fair. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. But yeah, that final scene, that was a lot. That was a lot. I liked it. I loved it. I thought it was one of the most satisfying moments in the movie, but yeah, definitely liked it. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's do some of these quick updates. Let's see. Oh, wait, do I not have that? Oh, okay. I didn't even make a title for that. All right, let's do that. Okay, let's do some quick updates. Nothing too crazy, just a bunch of random stuff that you may or may not have heard about, but we could talk about it here. First up, the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the last Ronin movie. It is apparently still in the works and it will be rated R. Now, I'm just interested in this for two reasons. One, I grew up on Ninja Turtles. So I'm a fan of this regardless. Especially if you're doing this live action. I don't want to say the last one. The first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie was amazing. And in my opinion, it still holds up. I still like that first movie. The second movie, Secret of the Ooze, I will admit it's not a good movie, but it does live rent free in my 8-year-old mind. Okay. As an 8-year-old kid who used to watch that thing on repeat, Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze Part 2 is a wonderful movie that I still enjoy. Okay? With the ninja rap. Listen, I'm okay with it. The third movie does not exist. And we don't talk about it because there is no third movie. It never happened. If anybody tells you that there was a third live action 1990s Ninja Turtle movie, let them know that they are a whole lie. Because no. Now, once the other, Michael Bay or whoever movies came out, I mean, I didn't really care for them as much. I know that the animated movies have been doing good, but I'm here for this. I'm here for anything that takes our childhood properties and wants to allow them to grow up. The comic, I haven't read the comic, but I know of the comic. I already know which Ninja Turtle that is and what happened and all that. I'm interested in seeing how rated R are you ready to go with this property? Because unlike other random reboots that we see of old properties, Ninja Turtles has kind of been going for a while. Not only did they have the movies, they had the TV shows, and they've had other TV shows, which means younger generations know about the Ninja Turtles. So if you're gonna make this rated R, I'm interested in seeing where we go with this. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I can already see half of what y'all saying. I could already see it. I'm not. Here you go. Here y'all go. We're gonna keep going with these updates. Because some people here only want chaos. Some people are only asking for chaos here. And I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid it. I don't want to go down that route. Let's see. Hold on. Because I think okay. We're gonna keep going with the quick updates. We will keep going with that. Johnny Depp is now in talks, or he's had talks about coming back as Jack Sparrow for a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, according to Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer. If he likes the way the part is written, I think he would do it. My question for you is, who needs this? Not who asked for this, but who needs this? I'm just saying, I don't know about you guys. I can't even tell you how many Pirates of the Caribbean movies there have been. I think they've gone up to 5, but if there was a 6th one, I would have no idea. I probably checked out of Pirates of the Caribbean around the 3rd one. I think it was around the 3rd movie, because now all the movies kind of blend in together for me. Like I can't tell which one is which. I feel like this ship has sailed, pun intended. But y'all feel free to let me know. Are y'all in for a Pirates of the Caribbean movie if Johnny Depp is back? Obviously, he had to step away because of the whole legal court situations he was having. I think they actually fired him, if I'm not mistaken. But y'all let me know, is that something that y'all still interested in or not? Now, one of the GOAT directors, one of the GOATs, and I've said this before, my man is like Jordan in the finals. He don't miss. This man has predicted our future back in the 90s, maybe even late 80s, and he still got us all spooked. Okay? Because I think a lot of us were living in the age, in the early phase of his movies, and that is none other than James Cameron, the man that brought you the Terminator movies. He says here that he thinks there's a chance of a Terminator-style apocalypse actually happening. He said here it may happen where you put AI together with weapon systems, even up to the level of nuclear weapon systems, nuclear defense, Counter-Strike. Yikes! Yikes! Listen, to this day, and you be lying if you disagree with this, the moment we heard about AI, what was the first thing y'all started thinking about? It was Skynet. It was Skynet. You knew it. You knew that Skynet was coming the second they started talking about Chat GPT anything. This man's, and listen, the crazy thing is he might not be wrong again. This is the same that we sat here and ridiculed, and I will admit, I partook in that. We were ridiculing him, talking about this Avatar movie thing ain't gonna work. Meanwhile, this man made $1 billion in the box office, got our goofy selves in the movie theaters every time that we even say, man, Avatar ain't got no story, man. This stuff look boring, whatever. And you be sitting there like in the theater like a goofy because you paid $20 just like I did. So I'm tired of doubting James Cameron. This man, he be seeing stuff. He be seeing stuff. And yes, Skynet is absolutely real. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Listen, not to get overly political, but we already have certain political people who are making mistakes, like talking about war plans on a regular old text messaging app. You mean to tell me somebody ain't equally as dumb enough to sit here and just be like, hey, AI, why don't you control the nuclear weapons? I'm too tired. You don't think that can happen? Of course that can happen. At this point, listen, if there's a nuclear holocaust coming or, nuclear event or whatever, it's going to come because of ego and stupidity. I know that for a fact. We don't need AI to do it. Somebody dumb is going to make that happen. I'm more than positive. All right. For some of y'all out there, I'm sure you guys are, many people are fans of this. I'm not. Okay. I tried it. I gave it 39 episodes and it just has not won me over. However, many of y'all swear by this, especially with the live action, that One Piece is the deal. And you should probably be happy to know that not only is season 2 coming out very soon in 2026, but season 3 has already been renewed at Netflix. So for those of y'all that are fans of the One Piece live action, which I heard is very faithful, I heard that it's a really good introduction. If you don't, you know, if you haven't actually sat and watched all of One Piece, all 50,000 episodes of it, I guess you can watch this live action instead. Personally, again, I've tried, and it just hasn't resonated. I'm a Naruto, Dragon Ball Z kind of guy. Maybe one day I'll try One Piece again, but 39 episodes and you ain't hooked me, I don't know. That's hard. That's a struggle. That's a struggle. And y'all got 5,000 episodes, man. But I'm happy for the people that enjoy the live action. I hope that this is something that you guys enjoy and take something with you. So that is good news that they are getting that extra season. So when it comes to Star Wars, there was like a fan expo event that had recently happened, and Ewan McGregor, aka Obi-Wan Kenobi, he was up there doing like one of those little interviews or whatnot. And one of the things he talked about was how his wife, who plays Hera Syndulla, the green chick with the long green tentacle head things or whatever, he was talking about how she was already filming for Ahsoka season 2. So what ended up happening was a lot of people were like, oh, snaps. Obi-Wan is also going to be in Ahsoka season 2. So that rumor started to run around. People started to run with that. But we do have confirmation here that no, Ewan McGregor is not confirmed to be returning for Ahsoka season 2. Because some news outlet reported that, but they did it inaccurately and they misconstrued his quotes. So he is not going to be in Ahsoka season 2, although it would be cool if he showed up in Ahsoka season 2. Having them interact is something that would be pretty interesting to see, but no, they are not going to, or he's not doing it, at least not officially. Does that mean he won't absolutely be in there? Who knows? Maybe they look at this and be like, oh, y'all wanted this, and then they do it at the end. We don't know. Similar to Mandalorian, nobody knew about Luke showing up, and that was an amazing surprise, right? For what was that, season 2, I want to say. So maybe they'll do something, maybe they won't, but right now he is not confirmed of showing up. Next up, we talked about this before, and it was an upcoming movie called Good Boy. And the movie is about basically a dog that sees the horror stuff happening, some supernatural stuff happening against his owners, right? But it's all through the dog's perspective. And I remember I was telling y'all, like, man, it is interesting because we always see in the movies dogs be acting weird, right? When there's some weird ghost stuff or whatever, they be acting real weird. They be barking at this door, or they don't want to go downstairs, or you know what I'm saying? Or they looking at something and you can't see what they looking at. So I was intrigued by just that concept. Now I still need a trailer. Like I still need to see where we're going with this, but we have, I want to say it's the director. So the director actually commented on this, and he basically revealed a short pitch for the movie. And he said it's director Ben Leonberg says Good Boy reveals the short pitch he sent for the film. And it was, do you ever wonder why your dog stares at empty corners, barks for no reason, or refuses to go into the basement? Good Boy is a story of a dog who sees everything that goes bump in the night. I like this. I like this because this was exactly what I was thinking that they were going to do with it. I like that pitch. I like this angle. A lot of times I think people kind of need to I think people underestimate that while we might have similar stories constantly being repeated, sometimes all you have to do is change the perspective. And just that alone can make a familiar story seem incredibly much more interesting. So I'm here for this. I want to see a trailer first, but the story, the angle, I do like it, and I want to see more. I want to see more. Next up, we have a new movie coming out, and it's an interesting cast. It's an interesting cast and an interesting setup. So you have Brandon Sklenar, Lakeith Stanfield, Jason Clark, and Trevante Rhodes, and they're going to star in a movie called Fast. No, it's not Fast and Furious, but this is written by Taylor Sheridan. First and foremost, that was enough right there for me. At first, I ain't gonna lie, I read this plot, and it says here the film follows a former commando who must lead a black ops strike team against CIA protected drug dealers in his town. I'm in for this mainly because you had me at Taylor Sheridan. This is the same guy that gave you Sicario, right? The same dude that gave you, what is it, Yellowstone and the 1923 or whatever the TV show is. The dude can write a great story for a movie. And I like this cast. I'm still a little questionable. The only one I'm questioning here is Lakeith. Because I'm kind of wondering, like, all right, Lakeith, like, what black ops have you been in? Your character, just the character. Now, I'm not saying he can't play action or nothing. He did a good job in that other the Wild West movie or whatever, whatnot. But outside of that, I do kind of want to see what this is about because I trust Taylor Sheridan. The guy can write very well. Let's see. Let's see. And I like this cast. I like this cast overall. You got some good actors. And by the way, can we just say, Brandon, I know he's been talked about here and there. This dude, little by little, is gaining my confidence to be the next DCU Batman. I know people be sitting here, bro, Ellen Richard. No. First and foremost, Batman don't have to look like nobody specific. Okay, Batman got to look like your generic white guy. You got the strong jaw. Okay, hold on. Let's see. We got the strong jaw. All right. If you need to know about his acting, you can watch him in the movie Drop. I forget what other movie he was in recently, but the dude can act. He got the strong jawline, and more importantly, he's the right age, right? Because they do want a Batman that's old enough to have a kid, and he's in shape. I don't have the pictures right now, but my man has been getting in the gym. Listen, he's been working out for a role that he really wants. Excuse me. Just popped up in my mind, just randomly. Just wonder what you're doing today. Hey, would y'all look at that? Finn Jones done woke up, y'all. He done woke up. Okay, listen, this is improvement. He done woke up. He in the water now. Okay, it's bath time now. My man getting his splishy splash on. Is that training? Let's see. Oh boy, hold on. Let's go back. Oh, Finn, you bogus. You just gonna post. Is this an old picture? Sir, is this an old picture? I think this is an old picture. Okay. He's looking at y'all. He's looking at y'all. Okay, he was on the stairs. We covered that. Yeah, okay. So my man said, you know what? Let's get in this pool and then let's rest. And then we're gonna fish. Swim, rest, fish. These are all important when trying to train for a role. But he's splishy splashy, y'all. He's splishy splashy. Okay, listen. I just, when we talk about roles and saying that you want it, clearly, my man out here trying to be the water fist. This gotta be a different role. It's gotta be, right? Maybe he wanted to be Aquaman. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. You know what? If he wants to play Aquaman, I support that. I support this. That's it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Finn Jones for Aquaman. He got the blonde curly hair. Where's James Gunn at? He got the blonde curly hair. He in the water, right? He's training for what he wants. And it's clearly Aquaman at this point. Y'all can't tell me otherwise. Look, don't he look like he been communicating with fish and he having a good old time in the water? Man, whatever. My man is gonna be fishy. Yes. Listen, I ain't even gonna pick on Finn no more. I ain't gonna pick on because I didn't know he wanted to play Aquaman. I didn't know that. I ain't gonna mess with him. I ain't even gonna do it. All right. So that is it for our quick updates. You guys let me know which of those things that you like or find interesting. Your thoughts. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now I have to read some of these. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Yeah. I don't want to read these. I don't. Hold on. Wraith, what you got? If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend that you check out the 2009 Turtles Forever animated film. Did I see that? I don't know if Turtles Forever. Did I see this? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, I have to add that to the list. I did watch the Ninja Turtles and Batman where they teamed up. That was a good one. I like that. That was a good one. Boy, Shredder was messing everybody up. That's what I like to see. I like to see that. They was messing all of them up. I forgot. My bad, y'all. I should have added y'all to the chat. And I want to make sure y'all are part of this too. Let's see. Anthony, what you got? Remember when Deep said, you're talking about from The Boys, during the trial that he would not come back for $1 million alpacas? Yeah. Man, I got to catch up on The Boys. It's been a while. Let's see. What else? Live action Courage the Cowardly Dog. I like it. That's a good one. That basically is what it is, right? Because Courage he did kind of help them usually, but he was always scared. And then people was dumb. They was always walking in stuff and letting themselves get messed up. But yeah. Okay. Let's do this first. Let's do this one first. Let's see. I believe your bad movie theory until 3 MCU flopped in a row. I didn't say $1 billion means it didn't flop. Thunderbolts lost 100 million. Cat 4 lost 10 million. Soups barely broke even. How's that not fatigue? It's not fatigue until it's an industry-wide thing. 3 movies does not break or create fatigue. Once again, this ain't the first time that we've had a couple of bad movies in a row. Like it happens. Talk to me about fatigue if and when Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and X-Men, and probably whatever the next DC movie. If those things flop, if those things come in low, let me know when that is an issue, because that's, to me, is going to be a mark of true fatigue, not something like. And by the way, 500 million for Superman is not bad given the short release window. That's $500 million. If, and we'll talk about it later, if they would leave this in theaters, it would probably go up to maybe up to 600 million. Maybe seven. I don't think seven, probably six. But Thunderbolts, who was checking for Thunderbolts in the first place? Cat 4? Sam Wilson? Who was checking for this? I don't even think that's a question of fatigue. I think that's a question of I don't care, right? Like that's possible too. Not caring about third or second rate characters is not an indication of fatigue. For example, when you had DC movies with notable characters not performing very well, when you had Marvel in the past, like Fantastic Four and other stuff not doing as well, that's fatigue. When your A franchise players can't get it done, that's fatigue. And again, this is not that point yet. So I know people are looking for that, but I need you to remember this ain't it. Trust me, I will tell you, I'll be the first one to admit. I will be the first to admit when there's actual fatigue setting in. But this ain't it. Like, y'all can't complain when the B team comes in and be like, see, the team sucks. No, like it's not, it's the B team. Like, it's the JV squad. Ain't nobody checking for this. All right. See, y'all want to play. Natalie, what do you want? Work suck. I need a laugh. Let's talk Mackie. Okay, ma'am. I read your Mackie chat. Okay, I read. Fine. I don't know why y'all want to talk about this, but I guess we have to do this now. Because we're here now. We're here now. Anthony Mackie, y'all boy, was recently spotted kissing an unidentified woman in London, grabbing what appears to be maybe some cheeks, maybe some not. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Now, I don't know what to do with this, except for the fact that he clearly knows something about her. How many times have we seen the infamous Mackie, I know something, a secret about you look? He clearly knows something about her. And, I've never seen this in this way. I usually see that look when it comes to interviews or whatnot, but he's seen something. Okay. And usually he's trying to cut the check, but right now it looks like, he's trying to grab them cheeks. I have more of an issue with how this man is kissing her. I'm just like, why the position of y'all mouths is bothering me. It's just bothering me. I'm just like, it looks like y'all trying to eat each other's faces. Maybe this is a terrible camera angle, but I can't even say this is French. Maybe this is a Louisiana thing. Maybe this is a New Orleans thing. Is that the way they get down to New Orleans? I don't know. Now, I know what some people are going to also talk about, and that is about the ethnicity of this woman. Now, I am personally not against interracial relationships. Love who you want. That's your business. However, it would be foolish for anyone not to even realize that this will immediately piss off Dr. Umar. Okay? Dr. Umar will more than likely issue out 5,000 lashes for this alone. for just this. So listen, again, this is not movie related in any way, but y'all wanted to pick madness today. Y'all wanted chaos. I don't know why. I got nothing to do with this. I'm just reporting the news. I hope Anthony Mackie's in a wonderful, happy situationship or whatever. I will say, I thought that this was for a movie, and it might be. I don't know. But here we are. I hope y'all are happy. Are y'all not entertained? Are y'all done? Are you done? Nelson, Mackie got reverse jungle fever. I don't think it's reverse. I don't think it's reverse. But listen, that's fine. It's okay. It's a beautiful thing if he's in love. It's a beautiful thing. Natalie again, thank you so much. Okay, real question. Did you see Highest to Lowest? So I was supposed to see Highest to Lowest this week, and I was so mad because I couldn't get off work. And by the time my screening was actually earlier in the day, and I did not have time to make it. So one of my pet peeves is getting to a movie late. If I get to a movie late, like I don't, there is no movie. I'm talking about like if we get there and the opening credits have already ran, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip because you never know if some text or exposition was shown. You don't know if that first scene was something critical or important. You just don't know. But yeah, for me, I couldn't get off work on time, so I wasn't able to go see it. I'll probably see it eventually. I'm not sure if I'll see it in theaters though. That's the weird thing. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I mean, I know on paper, you're talking about Denzel Washington. You're talking about Spike Lee. That in itself has my attention. But the more I look at the trailers, the more I'm kind of like, this kind of feels like a streaming movie. ASAP Rocky, Ice Spice, but Denzel, right? Spike Lee. So I don't know. I haven't seen it. I might see it sometime soon, maybe. But I can't make no promises. I can't make no promises. Natalie again coming through. E-Man is my goat. Mackie always makes that face. He does make that face a lot. That's his. I don't know if that's his resting face, but that is his face. That is his face. Let's see. Anthony, what you got here? I meant Johnny Depp. Okay. I guess Mickey gave 2 million alpaca. You say that you don't have a problem with Mackie, but I don't see Sam Wilson Funko Pops. Yeah, I ran out of room. This is like I ran out of room. I don't know what to tell you. It's only so many I can have up there. And it only belongs to the king and the queen. Okay, the king, the queen, and Blade. That's all I need up there. That's all I need. Let's see, the real Big Sean. What you got? Hey man, are you gonna talk about Alien Earth? First 2 episodes were fire. You should definitely do a weekly reaction. So here's the thing. I can do that real quick. Actually, let me do that real quick. Now, this is obviously impromptu. I wasn't trying to, but we could definitely talk about this real quick because one of the issues I was having was certain networks didn't want to, they were being a little stingy with the screeners, right? Because I'm sitting here like, yo, like I was asking for months. Like, what we in August now? I was asking back in like January, what's up with that Alien Earth? I want that Alien Earth. And yeah, they just weren't budging on it. They were not really playing with your boy at first with it. So at first I was just kind of like, okay, cool. Like if y'all don't want to give us access to promote your stuff, you don't want no help. I'll just watch it when it comes out. But so yeah, I did end up watching the first 2 episodes. And shout out to Critics' Choice, we did actually get access to the season. So now, if you guys are interested, we could do a weekly thing if y'all want. We could do that. I'd have to see. Does anybody know real quick when it comes out? Like what day of the week does Alien Earth come out? And then we could plan something where usually I'll go live the day after, and we could talk about the episodes. But just real quick, is it Wednesdays? Oh, okay, so if it comes out on Wednesday, then we can definitely talk about it on, or is it Tuesday? Dang, see, now we need confirmation. I need confirmation. Or is it like one of those, it's Tuesday at midnight type of things? Is it Tuesday? Okay. So if it's Tuesday, then I guess that means Wednesday nights we'll have to come together and we'll be able to talk about it. But yeah, so I haven't seen the rest of the season, but I did watch the first 2 episodes. So just some quick thoughts about it, and then we could talk about it, of course, when we do, if we do the weekly thing. First 2 episodes, just quick reaction. I loved it. I have been a very big fan of the Alien franchise, especially after Prometheus. I like this, and what I love about it is like the lore that they're adding to it. The mere fact that they kicked off that first episode with, oh, by the way, I know you like this stuff. We also got this and that. I'm trying not to spoil it for people that haven't watched, but they added a whole nother component to this franchise that in my mind just blew up my imagination. You know what? We will talk about this. We will talk about these episodes in more depth. So I'll just give you a little spoiler-free thing. But the fact that they added in the green text where they were like, oh yeah, by the way, there's this, and there's this. I was like, what? And then of course the new innovation that they introduced, absolutely a game changer. This isn't a spoiler, but of course this whole thing is about what happens if some aliens are loose on Earth, and they have different species. I'm interested in these different species. I'm interested in seeing what happened to these species, what's going on. My mind is blown. Now, there were a couple parts where I was kind of like, I need y'all to hurry up. Y'all trying to get all philosophical and stuff. That's fine, but hurry up. But, woo! I felt so bad because I was watching it late at night and I watched the second episode and I fell asleep. And I was like, oh yeah, I woke up. I was like, all right, I'll rewatch it. And I was talking to a friend of mine about it. He was like, I need you to stop talking about this and go watch that second episode. I said, okay, I'm sorry. I'll go watch the second episode. I go watch the second episode and I was like, oh, this is, we in. We are in. We are let's go. I'm 100. Man, they just said, all right, action. Just action. I love all the new things that we learned. I love the new twists, the new possibilities. I'm in for this so far. My hope is that they can just find a way to just stick the landing, because to me that was a strong 2 episodes. So I'm in for it. We will go and do I think what I'll do is maybe on Wednesday we could do both episodes. We could probably do all 3 episodes or something like that. Oh my God, that elevator scene. I was like, boy, you better huff it, huff it, huff it, Ooh, and then on the neck. Listen, if you are squeamish, this ain't for you. If you are squeamish, I don't like that. I didn't like that. I mean, I liked it because it was cool, but I didn't like the feeling. Made me feel like stuff was crawling on me. But yeah, we will definitely get into this because I am enjoying this so far. And hopefully they stick the landing, right? Hopefully every episode keeps that same energy. I believe it's only 8 episodes. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, so far, if you like Aliens, Romulus, Covenant, Prometheus, this is for you. It's so far. It's only 2 episodes, so far. But yeah, that's my take on it real quick. I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, they had me with expanding the lore because I had so many questions. I was like, how y'all gonna put this at this time? What are y'all gonna do with that? So I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see. So thank you for that, Big Sean. I appreciate that. Thanks for holding down the channel like that. Hold on, we got something else here. I have got to, who is this? Okay. From MH Creative. Thank you so much for the $5 Cash App. Appreciate you so much for that. Giving some love right back. Thank you so much, brother. What else do we do? 60 plus. What you got here? No, it's not a New Orleans thing. He's just thirsty, embarrassing for my hometown. Why you do him like that? I mean, maybe okay. I mean, if that, I'm sorry. All right, that's your hometown. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's see. DePaul, the new Alien on Earth series. Where does it take place in the timeline? So, from my understanding, it you have Prometheus, Covenant, and then Alien Earth, and then Alien Romulus. Hold on, because I think I had seen a timeline not too long ago. I was thinking about sharing it, but yeah, so it's those three. It's in that order. Let me see if I can find y'all a timeline real quick because I had literally just seen it not too long ago. Anybody? No. Oh, okay, boom. Here it goes. Man, I was fast with that. So here you go. This is the current timeline for um Alien Earth. As you can see, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Alien Earth, then the original Alien Okay, I was wrong. Then it's Alien, then Romulus, then Aliens, Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection at the very bottom. So that's where it fits in. And this, not to get too spoiler or whatever, but like this does, I think, answer more questions that were raised probably in Prometheus for me. Like I was like, oh, okay. Now this makes a little bit more sense. And it makes more sense what we learned in Alien Romulus about what happened in the movie Alien. So all these things are kind of connected. I like the fact that we're going that way. And I think that it's going to have a good payoff. I think. But yeah, I love the timeline so far. Feels genuine, feels like it's right on point. All right. What else do we have next up? Okay, that was a little impromptu there. Let's talk about Rambo. So Rambo is a probably one of the top action characters out there next to Terminator, right? Played obviously by Sylvester Stallone. The early 90s movies I thought were amazing. Like those were just great. Rambo, First Blood, just all of those movies to me were just really good, except for when Sylvester Stallone came back. So like Rambo, Last Blood, trash, just bad, just so good. And it was probably fitting that they just kind of ended it at that point, but because it was going on too long. I did not need to see the senior citizen version of Rambo at all. Just there was no need. Now, we had talked about that there was news that they were going to do a prequel story for Rambo. Now, that to me, I was kind of like, I mean, does Rambo need a prequel story? Like you got me. This the Vietnam War vet definitely got PTSD, and people won't leave him alone. That's all I need. That's all I really needed, right? Well, it looks like they're moving forward. with that Rambo prequel, and it looks like they've actually found their new Rambo. Introducing, once again, in case this guy does not seem familiar, Noah Centineo is attached to star as John Rambo in the prequel. It says here that the film's plot is under wraps, but it will be the origin of a young John Rambo during the Vietnam War. Sylvester Stallone played, for those that don't know, he played the veteran Green Beret who is forced by a cruel sheriff and his deputies to flee into the mountains and wage an escalating one-man war against his pursuers. In other words, it was like Home Alone in the jungle with guns. That's who John Rambo was. Now, as for Stallone, because I'm sure everybody's wondering, insiders told Deadline that he was aware of the prequel project, but was not involved. And as of today, that remains the same. So he's still not involved right now. Sources say that Stallone has been alerted that Noah is now attached. So, in case you forgot, this dude has been in the Netflix series The Recruit. I did not watch The Recruit, but I also was not really all that interested based off of the trailers and the little footage I did see. This is also, he's also going to play your Ken Masters from the Street Fighter movie. He's going to play Ken. And if you recall, he also was supposed to play He-Man in a Masters of the Universe movie. Yeah. I don't get it. What do y'all say? Why him? Why? Like what is Hollywood seeing in him that I don't see it? And maybe I do need to go rewatch the Recruit. I only watched like the first half of the first episode, and I didn't care. But I'm curious as to like what is it in him that made y'all think he was He-Man, that made y'all think that he is Ken Masters from Street Fighter, and you want him to play Rambo? Him? What is it? Like, is he madly in shape? Can he fight? Does he have like a martial arts background? Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know what Hollywood knows that we don't know. But apparently, he is getting a push in Hollywood like no other. He is getting a real push to become this new action guy. Whether that works or not, I don't know. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about a Rambo prequel story? I mean, I still don't really know why I should care about an origin story for Rambo. Like, are you about to show me how he gets recruited in high school or something? Like, what? Like, what are we? What? Like, he's gonna go through boot camp? Okay. Like, are you gonna show me the stuff that made him have PTSD? I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know if you are interested. And if somebody has watched The Recruit, or if somebody knows more about Noah, let me know. Please help me, because I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. Let's see. Moving on, we have some DCU updates. So recently, we've had some interviews from James Gunn specifically on the DCU, Superman, and so on. So we can go over a couple of things. Now, one thing that has been, keep in mind, James Gunn was brought in with the very difficult task of trying to erase the failure that was the DCEU. Okay, it failed. Didn't work out. It's not a success. It did not win. So James Gunn has to reboot everything, right? However, because of the mess that was left by DCEU and by Warner Brothers, who had no idea what they were doing. They were just like, man, whatever. Rock, you want to do something? Fine. Oh, Matt Reeves, you want to do a Batman? Fine. Whatever. Oh, James Gunn, you want to do a Suicide Squad? Fine. They threw so much stuff at the wall to just see what sticks. We don't know what will stick or not. So, for example, you had the Suicide Squad movie, but you saw that Peacemaker with John Cena was also involved. But we also know that James Gunn loves Peacemaker, and he's already got season 2 coming. I believe it comes out next week. And with that said, he's just really pumping up and hyping up Peacemaker, but that also introduces a lot of continuity issues. One of the issues was like, okay, what was canon from Peacemaker season 1 and what's not canon? He's basically said, and this isn't the cleanest at all, whatever they talk about in season 2 is canon. If they don't talk about it, then it didn't happen and it wasn't canon. So if you're looking for any type of real sense of what can I connect in the DCU, it seems like Peacemaker is going to be the route to go. But with that said, the other question is, what do you do with some of the characters? Because again, you had Peacemaker and you had Suicide Squad. So what does that mean? That means that there's a possibility if you let Peacemaker be a continuing character, what about the other characters? Are there other characters from Suicide Squad that we could see in the DCU and be official? Well, what's up with Margot Robbie? What's up with you know, with Harley Quinn? Is she going to continue? Listen, one thing that was interesting is the fact that Harley Quinn's character, I feel like she kind of existed only because of her popularity, right? That's where we even got the Birds of Prey movie, because Harley Quinn was that popular, right? They even renamed the whole movie. What was it? The Harley Quinn's Adventures of blah, 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 something stupid, whatever. But, and I admit Margot Robbie obviously was a draw. She was a highlight in a lot of the DCEU. She was definitely one of the brighter spots. So again, will there be a new Harley Quinn? Are they going to recast, or is she going to return just like how Peacemaker returned? Who knows? And that's what James Gunn basically said. That will be revealed down the line. So I think the fact that it's not a no and it will be revealed is more than likely, maybe I'm leaning yes. I'm leaning that he will bring her back, mainly because that's too much money to leave on the table. That's too much money. Now, Margot Robbie is pretty busy, and her, you know what? I just talked myself out of it. I don't think she's coming back. I don't think she's coming back. Because if you look at the hiring practice of James Gunn, he's not going for A-listers. And I would argue that right now, Margot Robbie in Hollywood, especially after the Barbie movie, she's probably considered an A-list actor. So I don't think she's coming back. I thought she would because of the popularity of the character, but now I'm thinking about how James Gunn is molding his DCU. He wants people that can cross over from movies to TV to even the animation. I don't think Margot Robbie has time to do all of that. David Cornsweet does. Eddie Gathegi has time. Nate Fillion, who played the Green Lantern, he's got time. Like, they can do that. They got that flexibility, and it's not like a shot on them, but they're not as in demand as Margot Robbie is. So I don't know. I think that they might end up going with a lesser known actor who can fit the DCU schedule. Now, in addition to that, Gunn also said, I definitely am always looking for a place to put Bloodsport and figuring that out. That is Idris Elba's character, who was in Suicide Squad, so he's trying to get him. And he says, so we'll see what happens. And of course, a lot of this ties right back to Peacemaker and Suicide Squad and those events. So I don't think she's coming. I don't think she's gonna come back. Like I said, Margot Robbie is expensive, and to bring her back, you really gonna have to like work around her schedule. I don't know. I don't know. I see people saying Lady Gaga. Maybe, maybe if she got the time, but I think it's just cheaper to just go ahead and find you another actress. Find another actress who can do TVs and movies, and you'll be fine. You keep the costs down and you have the flexibility open. That's how James Gunn is working right now. Anyway, as we were talking about this earlier, um, when we were talking about the movies and the fatigue and stuff like that, one of the things that I mentioned was the release windows, right? I told y'all one of the things that are drastically affecting the movie industry, and sooner or later this will change, is the release windows, right? Like you're having movies that are still going off of old budgets, $200 million, whatever, but the shortened release window is affecting their earning potential. They're not able to stay in theaters that long, and they're not able to make as much money. So obviously, the box office numbers, those estimates, and our expectations, they have to change. They just have to, because we're not in the same world anymore. With that said, Superman is coming to digital home release very soon. I think like within a couple of days, if that. When is it? It's coming out early, video on demand. It's already out. It's already out. So if you want to go see it on demand on video, you can already go see that. So James Gunn was asked in this interview about that, about the reason why that happened, and this is what he had to say. Because the interviewer was like, "Yo, this is coming out soon, and I love a good long theatrical run and campaign." James Gunn said, "Me too." So the interviewer says, "What was the mindset in going to streaming that soon after?" So Gunn had this to say: "Well, it's very complicated, but the truth is that it's because of Peacemaker. I originally thought Peacemaker was going to be coming out next month. There was a lot of things that are beyond our control, so that Peacemaker is coming out now. And at the end of the day, I wanted everyone to be able to see Superman that wanted to, even those people who couldn't get a theater, get to a theater before Peacemaker, and that's really the reason for it." Gonna call Cap. Gonna call Cap on that. I think that's part of the truth. I'm sure he would love for people to see Peacemaker and all that. You mean to tell me that you wouldn't want to see your movie make more money in the theaters? I, I've been doing this for a while, right? I feel like at this point we could read between the lines. When James Gunn, who is a company guy, he's not going to sit here and throw his own company under the bus, right? Like, and I'm not saying he hasn't criticized WB, because he did criticize the previous regime, but he ain't about to go bite the hand that feeds him. When I hear it's very complicated, and when I hear that there are things that are beyond our control, that gives me the impression that these are not DCU decisions. These are WB decisions. In other words, there is an incentive for the studio, not DC, but the studio WB, to cut the theatrical run short for Superman. Why? As I've told y'all before, when the movie goes into the theaters, there's a certain percentage that they have to pay to the theater. In the first couple of weeks, it's a small percentage, right? The theater makes, I don't know, 10%, 20%, whatever. Whatever that small percentage is, the longer the movie stays in theaters, the more that percentage of earnings goes towards the theater and the less money goes to the studio. So, if you're the studio, what do you think you're going to do? You can't just skip the movie theaters, because that's how you make hundreds of millions of dollars. But at the same time, you got a whole streaming platform. You got a whole streaming platform where guess what? Any and all money that you make on that streaming platform, you don't have to you don't have to share that with the theaters. It goes straight to you. So, of course, the studios, which are very complicated and beyond their control, the studio is going to be like, yo, cut that Superman out. Because if anything, that Superman in theaters, that was a great advertisement for our streaming platform and to get more subscribers so we keep more money in our pockets. Once again, this is why we need to stop looking at box office the same, because the studios are not looking at it the same. The studios are like, man, whatever. I made however much in theaters, but I'm going to use that popular movie for people to come and watch on my video on demand on my platform. I forget where I saw it, but I think I just saw that Superman was going for like $30. Like if you go on, I don't know, Amazon Prime or WB or something like that, they was trying to sell for $30. Does that not seem like a money grab to you? That's $30, which is way more than the price of admission for the movie theater, for the movie theater ticket. That goes straight profit to them. So this whole thing about, I want people to see Peacemaker and all that, I'm not buying it. I follow the money. I'm not buying it. Sorry. I'm just not. Not to mention, let's also be honest about this here. And, I'm not trying to call James Gunn out on this, but everyone who watches the movies don't go watch the TV shows. Now, of course, people that watch the TV shows will probably go watch the movies, but you can't count like that. You can't count that, right? That's like us sitting here saying, oh, well, if I went and watched, Captain America Brave New World, I'm going to go back and watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I highly doubt that that's a thing. I highly doubt that you had people be like, what? Sam Wilson got a TV show? Let me go back and watch. You know why? Because ain't nobody talk about, hey, look at the ratings for Disney Plus and Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier going up. It doesn't happen. That crossover doesn't happen. So I'm going to call cap on that. I don't believe him. I think that Big Daddy Zaslav was like, hey, I want my money. Get that Superman on the streaming, and you could say Peacemaker's the excuse, but okay. Speaking of which, we do have a little bit more of a follow-up with what's going on with Superman, because there's been a lot of talk of like, yo, are we doing like a Superman sequel? Are you jumping into Batman and Superman? Are you doing Justice League? So when he was kind of asked about this, James Gunn did weigh in, and when he was asked like, yo, when are you getting back behind the camera again? Like, when are you directing again? And this is where he talked about that he's actually going to do something else for Superman. He says, we're scheduling it now. I'm done with the treatment. My treatments are incredibly intense. They're not regular treatments. They're 60-page treatments with dialogue and everything. And so now I'm just turning that into a script. We're planning out when we're going to shoot that. It's going to be much sooner than later. Let me just say real quick, I absolutely respect and love the fact that James Gunn takes the time to really be meticulous about getting those scripts together. He is very script focused. He is more like, yo, we're not starting a movie. We're not announcing a movie unless a script is here and we got it ready to go. We're not doing none of that. Let's be honest, that Marvel stuff right now, right? We're not going to announce nothing. We're not going to put something down unless we're happy with the script. So it sounds like whatever's coming up after Superman that James Gunn is going to take on, he's already been cracking away at it, and I like that dedication so far. Now, he did reveal the name of the next chapter for the Man of Steel, and Gunn confirmed that the Superman follow-up will be called the Superman Saga, a multi-film storyline that will form the backbone of the DC Universe's first chapter under his leadership. He says here, I've already finished the treatment for the next story in what I'll call the Superman saga. The treatment is done, which means a very, very worked out treatment. I'm working on that and hopefully going into production on that not too far away from today. Now he does go more into Peacemaker, and he says, look, it's a big part. Definitely Superman leads into Peacemaker, but Superman leads into this show. And then we have the setting up of all the rest of the DCU in the season of Peacemaker. It's incredibly important. Lots of guest stars coming up. Lots of characters that are showing up that we've already met in Superman. I don't think there's anything that I've ever done that I love more than this season of Peacemaker. I'm so excited for people to see it. Sir, you are also excited for people to see The Flash. So, I'm not going to say that Peacemaker is going to be The Flash because I do believe that Peacemaker season 1 was entertaining. I'm wondering, and you guys can let me know, should we cover Peacemaker? Do y'all want to talk about Peacemaker? I don't know. Like, I watched the first season because honestly, I was like, I don't know what this show is. I don't know if this is gonna be interesting or not. I ended up liking it. I like the first season of Peacemaker. I have not seen the latest season. I do know that they were giving out screeners, but they've only given out the first 5 episodes. So from what I understand from James Gunn, he's like, nobody is getting the last 2 episodes because they spoil a lot, right? They spoil a lot. So I respect that. I really appreciate that. But I do kind of want to see, do y'all want to cover Peacemaker? We can add it to the regime. We could do Peacemaker and Alien Earth if we got to. But y'all let me know if you want that. But it sounds as though James Gunn is making this feel like required viewing. I know that he probably doesn't want to do the whole homework thing, but it's sounding like it's getting to that point when he says it's very, very important. So I don't know. But anyway, guys, y'all let me know. What do you think about all this DC news? How do you feel about Superman saga coming up? Will you be watching Peacemaker season 2? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Nelson, what you got? Is Peacemaker the DC Comics version of Deadpool? I wouldn't say that. I think the DC Comics version of Deadpool is probably Plastic Man, and that's only because of the raunchy jokes and stuff. But no, I wouldn't say that he's that version. He might be the DCU version, but that's a stretch. No pun intended. Oh, was I gonna talk about Margot? No. Yeah, I don't think so. That's fine. Let's see, JN, who does he get to play Harley Quinn? Honestly, I don't know. I would assume it's gonna be a TV actress or somebody that is not a household name. And don't get me wrong, they don't need to be a household name because playing Harley Quinn, people will kind of attach that with Lady Gaga, with Margot Robbie. The character can define that person. So I don't know who he would get, but I'm pretty sure he would get somebody who again can fit his schedule and can jump in and out of stuff. Let's see. Jarek, thank you so much. Amazingly, NASA 2 is breaking records. The buzz is in the USA is electric, and everyone is eager to see it surpass Avatar in English dub and IMAX 3D. Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I have not watched the first movie. I think I have a screening for the second one, but I haven't confirmed it yet. But I'm interested because that movie apparently it's an animated movie. It's killing the international numbers. Like the box office is going through the roof. It could end up becoming one of the highest grossing movies of all time. So we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do with that. Tracy, thank you so much. Soups cost $30 to own and $25 to rent for 2 days. Wow. I'll wait for video on demand to discount Blu-ray or streaming. Gun making Peacemaker homework for DCU. Why? That's a good question. But first of all, that whole $30 to own is such nonsense. Because if you guys all know, you don't own nothing. If it's on stream, the only thing you will own are Blu-ray home media stuff. Like if you could fit like physical entertainment, physical home media is the only thing you will own. Because if HBO Max goes out of business, if Amazon Prime goes down, so do your licenses. Them things is gone. You owned it only for so long. So yeah. You know, that right there is crazy. $25? Nah, G. I'm good on that. I am good on that. All right, let's do some MCU stuff and some Avenger stuff. We got a couple rumors, couple updates here. Now this is you know, when it comes to the Marvel animation, it's been a little hit or miss. Like I was kind of a miss on Eyes of Wakanda. Like it was okay. I like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I like that so far. But this is something I've been waiting for. Like I'm waiting for Marvel to just hurry up with this right now. And that is Marvel Zombies. So we have some updates for that. It says Marvel Zombies will release on September 24th. Ooh, close to my birthday. Love it, love it, love it. Described as a 4-episode TVMA event series. That means they about to do a lot of things. There's gonna be some blood. There's gonna be some violence. There's gonna be there's a lot of things for TVMA on an animation like that. Let's go, Marvel. This includes Shang-Chi, Yelena, Kate Bishop, Red Guardian, Scarlet Witch, Blade. Blade? Did I read that right? Blade? I did not see that. And Ms. Marvel. Y'all about to give us Blade? I'm shocked. I did not know that. My excitement for this just went up a little bit higher. Because I didn't even know about Blade being in Marvel Zombies. If this is true, I will absolutely watch. I will absolutely be there. I'm there. So those are your little updates for that. You also had Ryan Reynolds posting on Instagram because you know he played Deadpool and all that. He shares a possible Avengers Doomsday tease on Instagram. Now, this is the old Avengers symbol with a new one that is spray painted on there, and people are trying to read into this. I don't know what this means. I don't know. To me, I think that if Deadpool is posting this, it probably just means that he's going to try and apply for the Avengers, right? Maybe the new Avengers, because keep in mind, the Thunderbolts basically became the new Avengers. So I can see him trying to apply to them, and I could see them rejecting him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Deadpool said, okay, cool, I'm gonna be like Thanos and do it on my own. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, y'all saying anarchy? I mean, maybe Avengers Anarchy. I can see that too. But we'll see where they go with it and what they do. Let's see. There was another one. Oh, so this is more of a rumor, but it does say now we already know, according to rumors anyway, that it's going to be a bunch of different issues that I'm sorry, not issues, but teams. There's going to be a bunch of different teams in Avengers Doomsday. So we know that the X-Men from the old Fox universe will be there. Sam Wilson will have his own Avengers team. We'll see Yelena and the new Avengers. They will have a team. And according to some reports, Loki is even going to have his own team. Now, I want to say that they did that in the comics as well, but that'll be interesting where they go with that. But it also says here, and this is a rumor, take it for however you want, Dr. Doom will have his own team in Avengers Doomsday. So, from everything that I've heard so far, they are really trying to make Dr. Doom, and this is actually what I fear. This is kind of what I fear. They're trying to make Dr. Doom the good guy, right? A la Thanos. In other words, he's a hero in his own right, in his own mind. And this is going to feel like, I think, Infinity War all over again. So I could see that happening potentially, where they do make him not completely evil. He's going to be trying to save the world. But the fact that he has his own Doctor Doom team, what I think will be interesting about this is, who are you going to make up? Because you have the multiverse to use at your discretion. And if anything, if I could just make a quick prediction, because it does not feel like Marvel is trying to be all that original, I would not be surprised if Doctor Doom, played by Robert Downey, his Avengers team is really just the counterparts of the original Avengers. So you will see, the Hydra Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Or you will see maybe even Red Hulk. You'll see Black Widow. Well, that's a good question. Will it be? I don't think ScarJo gonna come back, so maybe it'll be a different Black Widow or something. But I could see them doing something like that, where they're like, "Hey, look at the Bizarro Avengers," and they'll kind of run with that. I could see them doing that. Anyway, yes, he will. Well, I don't want to spoil the Fantastic Four for people that haven't seen it, but there's obviously a huge Easter egg in that post-credit scene as well. So Fantastic Four, all of those things are going to be involved. I saw here that people would confirm that Deadpool is now going to be in Avengers Doomsday. I didn't doubt that. Like, I kind of figured at this point, it's all hands on deck, right? Like, we messed up phase 4. Phase 5 was a little shaky. Everybody needs to report. All hands on deck. Let's go. Right? Like, they need to hit that 2 billion mark. I don't know if they will, because the market's changed. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, guys, let me know, what do you think about those little updates for Avengers Doomsday? Does any of this excite you? Are you more interested? Will you just go watch it anyway? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The Marvel Zombie Blade figurine is up for pre-order. Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. Okay? Don't tempt me. What's this here? So, trades rumor, Black Panther 3 is reported to have a plot centered around space time travel. Thoughts potentially. Sure. Why not? Right? I would say that if they want to do that, I mean, the space stuff makes sense, right? The intergalactic, empire seems right there for the taking for Ryan Coogler to explore it. And if you've watched Eyes of Wakanda, yeah, go for it. If you want to go with the historical stuff, I think that would work as well. They've already kind of laid some of that foundation out. So sure, let's go. All right. Thank you for that, JN. Appreciate you. Let's move on. So now we have a weapons update. It's so, just so you guys know, I am going to get into mild spoilers here for weapons. So If you have not watched Weapons, I strongly encourage you to go watch my Weapons spoiler-free review, and go watch the movie because it is a great movie. It is probably one of the best horrors I've seen in a long time. Definitely one of the best of the year so far. Um, and yeah, we will go into mild spoiled territory. So I would say that while you see this Weapons update up, consider that your spoiler alert, because I'm not going to go deep into the spoilers, but there is obviously a big twist here that I'm going to talk about. So I'm giving you the heads up now. It's okay if you want to come back a little later. If you want to put me on mute, that's fine too. But I've told y'all. Okay, I've told y'all. Y'all should have went to go see the movie, and you should go see the movie. You should. Okay, is everybody done? Okay, let me just put it right here, just in case. Spoiler alert. I'll leave this up. I'll leave this up so people can understand. All right. If you have watched Weapons, then you already know. You already know that one of the most interesting aspects of the movie was the villain, right? The villain was the Ronald McDonald lady, Aunt Gladys. Aunt Gladys brought a whole different wrinkle into this movie that I don't think I don't think anybody was suspecting, right? Especially not based off of the trailers. So we have an update here about Aunt Gladys. So it says here, Aunt Gladys, played by Amy Madigan, is among the many memorable characters in the film Weapons. And multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Warner Brothers is already talking with Zach Kreger, the director, about making a prequel exploring her origin story of the strange aunt who suddenly arrives in town. Now, one of Weapons conceits is its chapter structure centering on particular characters, and sources say that Kreger actually had a chapter focused on Gladys and some of her backstory, right? So she was going to be in the story as a completely different chapter. Now, Kreger pulled that section from the script for length purposes. It's probably going to make the movie too long. Now, with the movie's wild success, that lost chapter would be expanded into a full-length story. Sources say no deals have been made, nor is there any timeline. But let's be honest, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And by the way, Zach Kreger is actually about to work on Resident Evil, so that's one of the reasons why he's currently not jumping on this right now. So, a couple of things. First of all, if you have not watched Weapons, do not ask any questions about Weapons, sir. Yes, I see you, sir. Don't ask no questions for a movie you ain't finna see. No, don't do it. Don't do it. But either way, I think that this is a typical thing, especially when you think about Warner Brothers, right? Warner Brothers, they work with New Line Cinema on this. Warner Brothers loves to milk these things. Now, this is smart on Zach Kreger's part, right? This is exactly what James Wan did with The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, right? What do we see in The Conjuring 2? Hey, look at this this new ghost called the Nun. Who's the Nun? Let me tell you. The Nun movie number 1 and the Nun movie number 2. Now, I didn't particularly like the Nun movies, but that's good that's money in the bank. So to introduce this character of Gladys, to not give her any real background and keep it mysterious, that makes sense to go after that money. Now, I'm conflicted because personally, I was okay with not knowing any more about her. You told me everything I needed to know, right? She came in, she was doing all the little weird stuff, and that's it. She served her purpose. I just think that when you show us too much of a character, then they lose the mystique. right? We're not about to sit here and we're not about to have theories about them. We're not about to have other questions. The mystery is just gone, right? When you start explaining too much about the character. So I'm a little iffy. Now, here's my main sticking point with a Gladys prequel. Is Zach Kreger going to direct it? Because if he's not writing and directing it, I don't want it. I don't want it because this is the pattern that I hate when franchises do this. I hate it when Jordan Peele does stuff like this so far. I don't like it when James Wan does it. When you give me something great and then you start, because they'll probably give him an executive producer role, right? If he doesn't direct, and you let somebody else go take care of that for you. Because to me, I'm just like, listen, I like Zach Kreger's voice in terms of how he writes, and I like how he directs his movies. So if you're going to give me a spinoff and he's not directing it, I'm going to be very cautious about it. You're not about, it's a very different thing when you say, oh, produced by the guy that gave you Weapons versus directed by the guy that gave you Weapons. So that's where I'm at with it. How do y'all feel about it? For those of y'all that actually have seen Weapons, did you want to learn more about Aunt Gladys? Do you think a prequel is necessary? Will you watch it? Does it matter if someone else is directing it? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Take that off. All right. I do want to continue though. I do want to continue with Resident Evil because I have been an unapologetic fan of the Resident Evil movies, but let me be clear. I only like the first two movies. I have watched every single live action animated or CGI, whatever, Resident Evil movie. Like even the low budget ones that you didn't even know they made a movie about. Like you got to go on the dark web internets to even find those other movies. And they're terrible. They're all bad. Even the remake, they did a redo not too long ago, and that was not good. So, the Resident Evil franchise is not in good shape. It hasn't been in good shape for a long time. First movie, loved it. Second movie, I enjoyed it. Everything went downhill after that. But there might be hope because, as I mentioned before with Weapons, Zach Kreger is coming up with the new Resident Evil movie. He is going to write and direct it. And you know what? If there was something to get my attention, this would be it. This is absolutely it because I trust him so far with Barbarian. I trust him with Resident Evil, with Weapons. So him having Resident Evil is something that definitely gives me a little bit more hope. But we do have some updates from him in this interview about what we can expect from Resident Evil. He says here, let me say this. This is not breaking the rules of the games. I'm the biggest worshiper of the games. So I'm telling a story that is a love letter to the games and follows the rules of the games. Right there. Right there. Thank you. First of all, I should also say, I don't play the games. Why? Because I'm scared. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. I don't play those games. Okay? No, I don't need some big dude in a trench coat talking about some stars coming after me. No, because if I don't have the cheat code with the bazooka all the time, you not running up on me like that. Okay? I don't want to play those games. But the movies, I'm with them. But I love the fact that you have a talented writer director who's currently on a hot streak, who knows how to do horror, and now he's going to tackle a franchise that has so much potential. Resident Evil has a lot of potential that has just been untapped. It's been abused and used and poorly executed. But man, you put a talented person behind that loves the games. I'm sorry, worships the games. Okay, that I like to hear that. How many times have we heard recently of people that, hey, I'm gonna do this movie or this video game adaptation, and I don't even play video games? I don't want to hear that. Like, no, I need people that love the material. So I like that so far. What else does he have to say? This movie, it is obedient to the lore of the games. It's just a different story. I'm not going to tell Leon's story because Leon's story is told in the games. Fans already have that. Once again, I can respect that. Now, don't get me wrong. Leon has always been a popular character, just like Joe Valentine and all of them. And the reason why I'm okay with them not using Leon is because, in my opinion, even though I haven't played all the games, I haven't, so I admit that, I don't believe Leon is the focal point of Resident Evil. I think that Resident Evil's focal point has always been the actual virus, the T virus, and the mutations that come from it, which is one of the reasons why they always have a rotation of main characters. It's not always Leon. Leon is probably the most recognizable and the most popular, but it doesn't have to always be Leon. That's my point. So as long as you have a compelling character, that's okay. Even what was the girl's name? Mila Jovovich or whatever. She wasn't in the games. That was Alice. She was a whole original character. So I'm okay if they don't want to focus on Leon. Also, I always thought Leon was OP. Like, this dude was able to shoot anything, and he was like a Hawkeye version character. My man could never miss. You give Leon just a little pistol, he's taking on all of Raccoon City by himself. It's a little unbelievable. But I'm okay with him trying to do something original. Like, I like that. Give me something fresh, because again, you don't need to stick to those characters for Resident Evil to make it work. Now, this is from industry leakers. They've suggested that this Resident Evil will feature an original character, just like Mila Jovovich's character in the first franchise film. And if that bothers people, if that troubles fans who are going to get who are hoping to get Leon's adventures in live action, Kreger has a simple solution. They can play the game. I'm with this energy. If you gonna sit here and cry about where's Leon, I want Leon, where's Leon, my man said, go play the game. Go play the game. You can have all the Leon you want in the game. Yes. I'm with this energy. I like this. Man, see, I need to talk to this brother. I have to talk to him, because I'm getting the vibe that he understands the assignment. I'm getting the vibe that he's about to walk into this thing and be like, listen, we about to do these scares. We about to do these zombies. We about to be in this city. It's going to be claustrophobic. You already know he could do a nice little scene with the cinematography and the houses. This is probably going to be my next highly anticipated film whenever it comes out. Cannot wait. Anyway, you guys let me know. How do you feel about Zach Kreger taking on Resident Evil? How do you feel about what he's got to say? He's going to give you an original character. It's not going to be breaking the rules of the game. And, if you want something, man, go play the games. Go play the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm excited for this. I can't wait. All right. Let's get to, okay, I think this is what people really wanted more so. Beef? What's beef? Let's talk about X-Men beef. So, over the past couple days, I have been seeing on my timeline a whole lot of commentary from everyone's fan favorite showrunner, Bo DeMayo. Yes, the same Bo DeMayo who was the showrunner of X-Men 97, one of the best things that ever came out of Marvel. And this is the same Bo DeMayo that also was fired, right? And there was a whole controversy over that. Feel free to go check out my other videos. We go over all of the back and forth, controversy and everything. But Bo DeMayo has not been quiet. Well, he wasn't quiet before, but now he's really not been quiet. And he's had a lot to say, especially when it comes to Marvel, how they operate, and what they plan on doing with the new X-Men. Now, I've already told y'all that I was concerned the moment they got rid of Bo DeMayo and they brought in another writer and they already started rewriting some of his scripts that were already done. Because to me, I was like, listen, if the man gave us two seasons, there's no reason to go mess up that gold. And it was gold, right? So it feels like whatever y'all did, y'all took some seasoned chicken and y'all ran it under some water. And that's what we're about to get in season 2. That's my fear. That's my current fear. Anyway, so there's no one better to at least weigh in on Marvel and their behind the scenes process and the direction that they take with the X-Men than the person that gave us arguably one of the best X-Men properties to date. So I do also want to just kind of, before we get into it, I do want to kind of also just note that he is obviously coming from a biased position, right? He's a fired employee. He felt as though he was done wrong by Marvel. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just saying there is a grain of salt that should be taken from either side, right? Because maybe there were some things that we, just don't know, and maybe Marvel's saying something. We don't know. But I just kind of want to throw that in there. Take it with a grain of salt. But at the same time, he's saying a lot. He's saying a lot here. So one thing that he's talking about, we'll talk about the X-Men portion first, because he had some other interesting things we'll talk about as well. He was asked, like, yo, does he have faith in the upcoming X-Men saga? Okay, for the MCU. And he says, do I have faith in the MCU's mutant saga? Short answer, not yet, no. And let me walk you through why, so you don't think I'm just being a hater. Okay, so he's saying he got some explanations here. He says you also need to suppress your ego to make it your own. Now, he's talking about the Marvel executives. They got to check their ego at the door to make it original and to make it their own, and focus on meeting the mutants on their terms, which means deeply respecting their canon and the emotional investment that fans have in that canon. So just real quick, I think I understand where he's coming from. And what I appreciate from what that comment is, do not shy away from what makes the X-Men the X-Men. In other words, because this has been my concern, the X-Men have always been a representation or a mirror for the levels of multiple types of discrimination and bigotry that happen in society. In other words, they should reflect the evils, the ugliness of racism or, certain phobias and stuff. All of those things should be respected and not just watered down as like, we just don't like them. Like, no. Like, you got to be willing not to pull your punches when it comes to X-Men, because this is all that they are. The X-Men are woke. Sorry to disappoint some of y'all out there, but that they are the epitome of wokeness. They are the DEI woke on steroids. That's what the X-Men are. So if there's any sense of like, that's too spicy, we can't talk about that, you shouldn't do X-Men. You shouldn't. So, and I think that was one of the reasons why Bo DeMayo was um so successful with it, because not only did he talk about the discrimination that they faced, but he also did not shy in talking about the political structures and systems that also oppress them too. So all of those things, the hate groups, the politics, the media, all those things were not shied away from. So if that happens in this Marvel upcoming mutant saga, you failed. So that's what I think he means by meeting them on their terms. And of course, comic canon, emotional investment. Yes, like you should be doing things that fans actually want from them. Case in point, showed my man Wolverine going wild, slicing and dicing folks. That's what we want. We've always wanted that. So yeah, I'm with him on this. He says here a retcon and musical sting in Ms. Marvel is that she's now somehow a mutant. Now, to be fair, this did happen in the comics, right? Like Kevin Feige hated the Inhuman stuff, so he made Ms. Marvel a mutant in the comics. So to be fair, it is comic accurate that she's a mutant. However, he says here that a Young Avengers retcon that Kevin forced onto the franchise to make it his own and out of the MCU spin. And it's a tease and retcon that they still have not paid off. Yeah, let me finish the quote. He says, just like Fox shoved the teenage retconned Rogue down our throats, Kevin and Marvel are shoving Kamala Khan down our throats when far more interesting mutants would do. It's a FU to fans, and having been in the room with these guys, it's absolutely all ego. So I'm not disappointed. I'm not gonna disagree. Obviously, I'm not in the room with them, so I don't know. But I'm not going to disagree with the idea that, yeah, the Kamala Khan thing, if that is our first introduction to mutants and that still hasn't gone anywhere, what are we doing? What are we doing? Right? Like, nobody has even mentioned mutants after that. Like, I mean, I think there was something in She Hulk, but who was watching She Hulk? And it's just kind of like, y'all really could have used the X-Men in a better way. Like when you think of mutants, you think of X-Men. Don't nobody think of Kamala Khan as a mutant like that. So, I think that's a fair argument that he made is, yeah, you might want to make this a MCU original type thing, but this ain't it. Oh yeah, Namor. I forgot. Sorry, thank you. Namor was also mentioned, but again, like Kamala Khan, Namor before X-Men? Eh. Anyway, um, he says here the retries of Wolverine and Deadpool from the Fox franchise that the MCU and Kevin had zero to do with, to tell a fan pandering story of Reddit wish list that seemed to say farewell to the Fox universe again and yet again. The MCU being like Fox in this lazy reliance on Wolverine as the face of the X-Men. Yikes! A contrived MacGuffin plot of adamantium in Captain America Brave New World that has amounted to nothing and begs timeline questions where I guess Miss Marvel is a mutant before Wolverine entered a Weapon X. Listen, he's not wrong. He's not wrong here. I mean, what we are seeing in the direction being taken with Avengers Doomsday, with Avengers Secret Wars, and some of the rumors out there, it does feel like Marvel is getting a little foxy. And I know I was absolutely holding Fox's feet to the fire, talking about why are y'all sitting here constantly? I get it. Wolverine, yes, he is popular thanks to Hugh Jackman and all that. They did, with the live action. I was like, why are y'all making Mystique the face? And why are y'all making Wolverine in everything? Like, I understood why you add Wolverine, but y'all were making Wolverine the focus, which he's never been. That's not what makes that's not even what made Wolverine popular. What made Wolverine popular was the fact that he was the side cool character. And we was like, yo, who's that over there? Who's that fiery little short guy with the claws over there? He's dope. We liked him because we got him in small doses. And what was even more proven was in X-Men 97, they did that. They did that. They did not make him the main character, but when he did show up, he had great parts. He had great scenes. And that's how that needs to work. But it seems like Marvel might be afraid to do that. They might not. They might be like, nah, the people like Wolverine, so we have to show him in abundance. We have to have Hugh Jackman here for until he's 90. It's like, yeah, that's not a good look if that's what they end up doing. And yeah, that adamantium stuff, like what are we even talking about? It says Kevin is introducing new concepts like adamantium and Mutant Ms. Marvel while simultaneously recycling old Fox characters, all before telling us they're going to reboot anything anyways. Yeah. Like, why are you introducing these things if we're going to reset singular timelines, according to Kevin Feige, anyway? Like, it's not wrong. He's not wrong. You're doing all this stuff that you're about to erase. Now, I have given Marvel one pass, and that has been, you guys started with one arm tied behind your back, and that was the character rights. When y'all did not have the character rights, yes, you were going to have to make adjustments. You were going to have to tell compromise stories because you didn't have all the rights. You had that excuse for about a decade. Once y'all got them rights back, once that Fox merger deal or the Fox acquisition deal went through, I also understood y'all already had stuff in motion. You wanted to get that out the way. Okay, cool. I understand. You can't just stop everything all the time. I get it. But now, y'all are getting to the point where you will not have any excuses. You will get to the point where you cannot complain. You cannot say, oh, well, we didn't have the rights, or we didn't do this. We couldn't tell the stories. Y'all got all the cards. Y'all can tell whatever stories you want, however they need to be told, because you have all your rights back. I think one or two characters they don't, but even the Hulk, I want to say y'all have that. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. So after this reboot, I agree. There's a lot of stuff they want to just throw around or whatever. After this reboot, there is no excuse. If Marvel drops the bag, if they put up weak characters after it, like, that's on them. Can't nobody cape for that. Because I've already said multiple times, the moment you reset, the moment you have all your characters, you better play with your franchise players. Don't give me some bottom of the barrel D-list character and think that this is still 2008 and we gonna care about that. You don't have that luxury anymore, especially not after phase 4 and phase 5. Y'all need to earn trust back big time. You need Spider-Man, you need the Avengers, you need the X-Men, right? You need Blade, you need some solid hits back to back to back for the next 3 years. No misses. And then maybe you could throw in a little something on the side. But man, y'all better not mess it up. Now, this is where Bo DeMayo gets a little bit deeper, where he's talking about the executives in the room. Now, he says, Kevin and y'all boy, Nate Moore, and Marvel talk about the one thing that's come out of Marvel that was universally loved. Oh, right. They don't. In fact, Kevin and his vaunted parliament at Marvel, those are the other producers, they didn't even attend X-Men 97's premiere. One of the crew members was in the elevator with Lou Esposito, that's basically Kevin Feige's second hand, the day of the premiere, and mentioned it, and Lou had no idea what he was talking about. Also, notice how everyone at Marvel talks like Deadpool and Wolverine put X-Men back into the modern zeitgeist. Sorry, that was X-Men 97, and even Ryan Reynolds has acknowledged that. That's all facts. It's all facts. I mean, I don't know about the behind the scenes stuff, but X-Men 97 is what got us talking about the X-Men. That's what I saw articles were written. That's what I saw was trending every week. That's what I saw videos being made. That's what I saw people talking about. Deadpool and Wolverine did not get people talking about the X-Men. It didn't. And let's be honest, even when Deadpool 2 came out and they tried to throw some of the X-Men in there, it sure as heck didn't save the X-Men franchise either. X-Men, listen, Deadpool was fun. It was a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it was not an X-Men movie. It was a Deadpool movie with an X-Men in it, Wolverine. But that was still a Deadpool movie. Now he's asserting that there has not been very much love for X-Men 97 from those at the top. I am a little hard pressed to hear anyone like Kevin Feige talk about X-Men 97. Maybe I have and I forgot, but it does feel as though Marvel wants to separate themselves, given the fact that, obviously they had a falling out with Bo DeMayo. So that would probably be the only reason I could see them not wanting to talk about it, because if you talk highly about X-Men 97 season 1, you kind of can't escape talking about Bo DeMayo. So I wonder if that is the reason why they don't want to talk about it. Not because of the content, but more, or the success, but more so because of the fact that, we had a whole issue with an employee, maybe. Let's see. Now he says, before you think I'm being egotistical, my team and I created a project that resonated with the MCU's core audience in a way that Kevin and his parliament have so far failed to do in over a decade. I mean, maybe. I don't know. In the last 10 years? No, Black Panther. No, they did some other stuff in the decade. Maybe 5 years. I would say in the last 5 years, X-Men 97 was probably one of the best things. But then again, you also had Spider-Man No Way Home. It's up there. It's a little debatable. It's up there. He says here, I have no faith yet, but my mind can be changed. So it's not all doom and gloom for him. Not by a PR stunt, castings and nostalgia grabs, but by someone actually doing an interview at Marvel about the X-Men, where I hear them talk about actually story. Well, that's not a bad idea. And he does actually go on here and says here, during phase 1, Marvel's Hall H and press releases were so exciting because they were talking about the comics and the themes and the stories. Now their Hall H Comic-Con panels and news is just Kevin Feige or one of his lackeys talking about the latest A-list celebrity who will be paid an 8-figure salary to cosplay as a Marvel hero. There's no talk of the actual heroes or characters or stories. Woo. Not gonna lie, this feels like facts as well. I mean, I don't remember the last time Marvel hyped me up for a story. And I think we've all, like, the moment this happened, I feel like everybody saw and everybody felt the elephant in the room. Like, hey, y'all didn't say nothing about the multiverse is collapsing. The universe needs some saving. The Avengers are gone. What are we going to do? Y'all didn't say nothing about that. All y'all said was, hey, y'all, we got Robert Downey back. Hey, party. Tony Stark is back, y'all. Ha, ha, ha. Remember him? Y'all like him, right? Yeah. Even in your own teaser. Y'all remember that teaser that I don't know who the heck stayed up for, Y'all had a 5-hour teaser on YouTube, and you showed only the chairs of the actors that were going to come back. Again, nothing about the themes, nothing about the story, nothing about the event. Nah, y'all just was like, look at all the actors we have. Bo is not wrong here. He's not wrong. You know, I'm just saying, I remember when Infinity War was happening, it was like, yo, it felt like, you know, on Friday, like, yo, Debo coming. Debo Thanos is coming. What y'all gonna do? Debo is coming. Now all we hear is Downey's back. You know, and yeah, you're right. It definitely got the internet talking, but it was superficial. It was superficial. We weren't talking about the movies. We were talking more so about the stunt. We were more so talking about like, oh, okay, well, is this Tony Stark as Doctor Doom? Is this and like no one was talking about the stories. No one was talking about what does this mean for the MCU? Like outside of resetting stuff, it just felt kind of hollow. It felt kind of superficial. So, you know, I understand where he's coming from. But anyway, you guys let me know, what do you think about Bo DeMayo's position on this X-Men? Do you feel like he's got a point? Do you feel like he's just a bad employee, feeling sour? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But wait, there's more. Let me see. There is more. Because Blade, in case you did not know, Bo DeMayo also wrote a script for Blade, right? So the same guy that gave you the wonderful first season of X-Men 97, he's also given us one of the stories or pitches for Blade that ultimately did not work. And after a lot of speculation, because we've heard a whole lot of different things about what the Blade stories could have been. There were stories about, oh, Blade had a daughter. There was another story about, you know, Blade being a period piece. We don't know, right? Like, I mean, now the latest reports suggest that they're not doing the period piece anymore. Matter of fact, all the old costumes that they were going to use, they sold that to Ryan Coogler so he could make Sinners, right? So Blade could have been written by Bo DeMayo, and now we finally know an idea of what that story could have been, because he finally you know, let us know what it is, and more so a peek behind the scenes as to how Marvel went about it and why it did not actually work. Now, by the way, in case you're watching this on the replay, make sure you watch the next video for Bo, because he also goes deeper behind the scenes, and I think you'll enjoy that. We'll get to that topic in a little bit, but this is on Bo DeMayo's own Twitter here. And he says, you basically sit in a room with Kevin Feige and Lou Esposito and try to pitch your movie while also realizing that Feige just wants you to dictate his rushed thoughts. Now, let's fast forward to the Blade stuff. Pitching Blade, he says, this was in a meeting where I was pitching Blade that we could use Blade as a chance to pick up the dangling threads from Doctor Strange when it came to Wanda and the Darkhold. Okay, we could use Varney and the Darkhold cultist. Varney was another vampire. One of my drafts opened with Deacon Frost. Y'all remember Deacon Frost, right? Tricking some British explorers to trek up to the Mount Wundagore, where he does blood magic to reveal the vampire spell used by Varney and his followers during the days of Kull. It start trying some of these threads. It start tying some of these threads together. I even had the same monsters from Doctor Strange show up to kill the explorers, before Deacon reveals he's a vampire and kills them up until the point that he'd been covered against the cold and daylight. This was set before Doctor Strange 2, so a lot of the stuff played ironically, while also having Deacon Frost give us more details about Chthon, who we only glimpsed in Doctor Strange 2. Now, to Kevin Feige's credit, he liked that idea. He, as well as my pitch that magic is to Blade what snakes are to Indiana Jones. In other words, Blade hates magic. But then Lou Esposito felt it was too comic book, while Mahershala Ali bumped on there being magic in the film tonally. And then I watched as them and Nate Moore picked it apart, and we were off to a new draft. So we could have had another Blade that would have tied right into Doctor Strange. It would have set up a better Doctor Strange 2, in my opinion, with the whole Chthon situation. You could have introduced an element that we have not seen Blade encounter on screen, being magic. Well, this witchcraft type of magic anyway. But according to Bo DeMeo, it was too comic booky. Imagine that. Imagine a comic book based movie being too comic booky. Wow. Now, I don't have this here, but I was reading more of the comments from Bo DeMeo, and one of the things he mentioned was that Lou D'Esposito, he's not a comic book guy. He's more so into like the movies. And I don't know if I have this or not, but I remember him saying something to the degree of, if you're pitching something to Marvel, you cannot you can't make it too based on comics, because Lou is going to get uninterested. He's not a comic book guy, despite being the second in charge of a comic book movie studio. Whew. As for this story with Blade, I personally like it. I think that this was interesting. I think that, again, bringing Deacon Frost back, having who is a recognizable character, tying that in with Wanda, tying that in with the Darkhold, I think that would be cool. I thought it would have been interesting if maybe we found out maybe vampires came from Chthon, in some way. That would have been a nice little thing that they could have connected right there. Definitely would have connected a lot more threads. Man, opportunity missed. Opportunity missed. Like, what? Just like Nate Moore, what was your issue? What was your issue with that Blade script? Because he said here that y'all tore it apart. Like, I'm really curious what y'all thought was wrong. First of all, this is way more than I ever would have envisioned for a Blade movie. I already gave y'all my Blade pitch. If y'all want, check out my shorts for that, my reels. I told y'all what I thought about a Blade pitch. It's not that hard, right? Vampires going out, doing vampire things, Blade stops them. No one is asking for anything more than that. But y'all was bringing in magic too. Man, I think y'all missed this. Y'all missed this. But anyway, y'all let me know, what do you think about this Blade pitch that clearly did not make it through the... But he did say Kevin Feige liked it. So this seems to be more on the rest of his parliament to blame. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. But yeah, I think we were robbed on that. That we missed that. All right. Okay, quiet one. I'm gonna come back to yours. Let me get to this last topic, and then I will get right back to you. Okay. We have the last thing here, which are let's call these fun facts. So Bo DeMeo, once again, the X-Men 97 season 1 director, and showrunner. He is been on a rampage lately. He has been calling Marvel out, more specifically calling out the top execs called the Parliament. So that's Kevin Feige's at the head and all the executive producers, Louis Esposito, Nate Moore, like Victoria Alonso, like anybody that was in that upper level. He's calling all of them out, right? He's giving all these behind the scenes issues. I just talked about the Blade pitch. Feel free, if you're watching this on the replay, go back. You can watch that video for yourself about what he pitched as a Blade movie and what happened to it. But he has got some beef with this Parliament. And if you recall, we talked about this back during the pandemic. Kevin Feige will usually take these executive producers, they go on a retreat, and they usually are the only ones that know the full plan, right? They're the ones that know, hey, we're gonna kill everybody in Infinity War, and then we're gonna bring them back, and Tony's gonna die. Like, they know the whole plan, while meanwhile, the directors or maybe even the writers that they hire, they only know their specific role, right? Because they don't want all the secrets to come out. So when he's talking about the Parliament, those are the people that he's referring to. Now, he brings up something that I think we kind of knew, but not to this level, right? Because we've heard different things about, like, how, for example, Nate Moore actually would say this. He was saying he would tell a lot of the other directors or writers or whoever, don't read the comics. Don't want you to read the comics, because they wanted them to come in with fresh ideas and appeal more to a movie going audience. I think actually, if you look at my own interview, I interviewed the director for Avengers, not Avengers, for Secret Invasion, right? Um, that director told me straight up, they told me not to read the comics. Now, he went ahead and read the comics anyway, but they told him not to read the comics, right? So that is a thing that Marvel does for whatever reason. I guess they think it's still a winning formula. But you see here from Bo DeMayo, he says, listen, Kevin Feige and most of his Parliament, they need to go. Fun fact, very few of them, if any, read the comics. They have their assistants, who are almost always actual fans, read the comics and write up reports so they don't have to. Yikes! What? I just this explains a lot. A lot. Because even if these assistants are actual fans, the mere fact that the people who are primarily in charge of being in charge of other Marvel projects, that lets me know that something is wrong. Like, y'all don't even read the comics? Let's go into deeper detail with this, because it does get it's worse. It does get worse. Says here, another fun fact about Marvel Studios. The lead producer on Avengers Infinity War and Endgame had her assistant working overtime reading comics that she was too busy to read. Same when they started working on Nomad. Nomad, if I'm not mistaken, that's Captain America when he was not Captain America, which ultimately fell apart because they couldn't crack it. And he sits here and gives himself credit that when they came across a real bad issue with X-Men 97, he was able to rely on his own comic knowledge to fix and patch whatever challenge they came up against. This is not good. And it's a double-edged sword. Now, I understand that on one end of this double-edged sword, if you don't think like a comic book person, you might have different insight on things that the audience for movies tends to like, right? Because that is a challenge. And I know some people might not get that, but if you really think about what has made Marvel successful, to me, I think it's a happy combination of respecting the comics and also appealing to non-comic book readers. When you understand that the movie going audience is not the comic book audience, there is some value in that. Now, comic book audience absolutely will go watch the movies, but the comic book audience is small compared to the larger movie going audience. So there is some value in understanding and approaching these movies as, like, for example, there's no way that you would be able to talk to the average moviegoer who does not read comics about the multiverse 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It'd be too confusing. They wouldn't understand it. They would need 4 to 5 years of multiple movies, TV shows to help them understand that. You can't say that to a comic book fan. Why? Because comic book fans have been dealing with the multiverse since like the 80s, if not maybe even the 70s. So comic book fans are way more conditioned to understand these concepts, but non-comic book readers, not the same. So I get that. I get that. You want to make sure you respect the movie going audience. But here's the other thing. Like Bo DeMayo just said, when you're in a situation where you have a story and you can't crack it, guess what? That's where comic book knowledge comes from. When you understand, the comic books are basically a cheat code, right? Hey, I don't know. What are we going to do with Steve Rogers when he's doing this thing? And you go to the comics and you get the inspiration and you figure it out. But here's the other thing that I don't think is being said here. Because if it is true that this is their process, you're losing out on something. Actually, no. Let me go to the other part and then I'll talk about what they're losing. So Bo goes on, it says more. He says, also, remember how the Secret Invasion creators bragged about not reading the comics? Well, this is how Marvel does it. He goes into the whole thing. The assistant to the lead producer actually does all the reading of the comics and creates a development document that covers the comics and that includes pitches for which villains or characters to pull from a run. This is done so the actual producer doesn't have to actually read the IP that they are making movies from, and then the producer and Kevin read and give notes on the development doc to narrow down ideas to create a final doc. Then, per what we've heard and what I've seen, the writers I told not to read the comics, but instead to read and develop a pitch using the development doc that outlines the parameters of the story they can tell. Oh my God. In other words, they go get an assistant to go read the stories. The assistant comes up with notes. Oh, this would be a cool character. Oh, yeah, this would be a good run. They give it to the producer, and the producers go off of those notes. If what Bo DeMayo is saying is true, Marvel is playing the telephone game with comic stories. Yikes. One of my earliest critiques that I've had when it comes to the MCU or any of these studios that make these stories is that one of the bigger problems is when you lose touch with what makes the comic actually special, right? And it's not just what makes the comic special, but it's what that special thing is that actually resonated with fans. So if you're just sitting here reading Civil War, for example, and you're just like, oh yeah, all the Avengers, they fight each other. That's not the winning, compelling thing that made it work. Or let's just say Venom, right? Because clearly Venom, they missed the mark with this. If you're sitting there having your assistant, I know Marvel Studios didn't do this, but I'm just using it as an example. If your studio assistant sits here and says, hey, Venom is really cool because he's strong and he's fast, and you know, his relationship with Eddie Brock is, you know, funny. You completely missed the mark. You completely forgot or did not know that what made Venom popular was his hatred towards Spider-Man and the immense problems that he makes for Spider-Man. He doesn't trigger his spider sense. He knows all of Spider-Man's secrets. He is the ultimate foil for Spider-Man. He's stronger than him. He can like do more abilities than him. All of those things you completely miss because you don't know the comics. Playing the telephone game with the Marvel stories is incredibly problematic. And if this is true, this perfectly explains to me why Marvel fumbled the bag with Black Panther, more specifically T'Challa. Because I have fought this idea for years. It's baffled me as to who, what, why, and when making a mantle a central piece of storytelling was a good idea, because it definitely was not the case in the comics for Black Panther. It's never been the case in successful, popular characters that also have mantles. But if all you're doing is going off of secondhand information, and if somebody, like, I can picture it now, some assistant is reading Black Panther and they're like, oh, you know what's really cool? It's a mantle that gets passed down. Yeah, that's cool. Mantle. Yeah. And you bring that note, that document into the meeting, and that's all y'all see. Oh, mantle. Okay, that's good. So we could pass this down. Hey, I like this. For all the people that don't even read the comics, of course you're going to miss the central point that the mantle was never the primary focus. And the reason why it was never a central focus is because it's not something that can work. Mantle passing is not sustainable. I've told y'all this before. Nobody's going to the Batman movie where it's not Batman, it's not Bruce Wayne under that cape and cowl. Y'all don't care if it's Dick Grayson. Y'all not showing up for that movie. No one is really showing up for the Jonathan Kent Superman movie because Clark Kent is gone. You're not showing up to that right now. You're showing up for the Clark Kent Superman movie. You're not showing up for the 007 movie that does not have James Bond in it. You are not. So everything that Bo DeMayo is talking about, if that is the way Marvel actually operates, they are in trouble. Because it now explains why some things are a hit and why some things are a miss. Because if it's a miss, it sounds like y'all went off of this development doc and third-hand information, and you don't really understand why these things are popular or what really mattered. You're just going off of your own instinct, and sorry, that's not going to cut it now. It might have cut it in phase 1, 2, and 3, because back then everyone had lower expectations for Marvel. I keep telling people this. This is the key difference why phase 1 through 3 is very different than phase 4 through everything else. The moment y'all gave us Infinity War and Endgame, y'all started a brand new bar. Y'all sat here and said, you know what? We can't come lower than this. I'm not saying every movie needs to be Endgame or Infinity War. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you showed us the potential of what you're capable of, and that was without your main players. So now We don't expect for you to sit here and give us the garbage that you might have given us in phase 1 or phase 2, because back then we didn't know no better. Our expectations were low. We was like, oh, there's a Thor movie? Okay. Right? Oh, there's a Captain America movie? All right. Oh, there's a Guardians of the Galaxy? What's that? Oh, you blew my mind with this. This was different. We don't have those expectations anymore. Hence why Thunderbolts, even though it was a good movie, it's not blowing people away. Hence why Fantastic Four, another good movie, not blowing us away. Why? Because they B-list characters. I know y'all want Fantastic Four to be A-list. Maybe they will become A-list, but they're still B-list right now. Y'all don't have that luxury no more. So that approach that you guys are taking, if what Bo DeMayo is saying is true, y'all got to stop that. Y'all have to stop that right now. I would rather, because here's the thing. I don't have the expectation that every movie person in Hollywood that works on Marvel stuff or DC or whatever, I don't expect y'all to be experts. I don't. I do think that it's not hard to believe or to even ask to have a stronger source than just your assistants reading the comics for you. Again, if that's true, I would rather the parliament, all these executives, I would rather y'all have another mini parliament, call it y'all mini Congress or whatever, and have it actually be a mixture of people that know what they're talking about. Have it be a mixture of comic book writers, maybe even comic book influencers, people that really get into the neck and weeds of comics. So that way you have the perfect mixture and the perfect balance of the knowledge of the actual comic source material and the fan exposure that y'all clearly keep missing on. I say this again. There was a whole report, I want to say it was either Variety or Hollywood Reporter, that sat here and said Marvel, as in the executives, they believed Captain America Brave New World, y'all movie, that was going to be their new Black Panther. If that does not suggest that y'all don't know what y'all talking about, I don't know what else does. That immediately told me there's a disconnect here. If you thought Black Panther was going to be echoed through Captain America Brave New World, you guys are out for lunch. Like, I don't like what? Y'all sat here again, according to a report that we just talked about. Blade is not a priority. There's no sense of urgency for Blade. Y'all don't want money? What? Something is letting me know that y'all don't know what you're doing. There's a disconnect there. You do not have your finger on the pulse of what people want. And we already talked about that with the whole Robert Downey PR stunt and Dr. Doom thing. Y'all not even talking about the story. At no point have y'all really emphasized the fact that everything is dying. Everything is going to be a problem. We've had incursions and y'all barely even mentioned that. What? You got Earths colliding with other Earths and y'all don't want to make that an issue? You're going to cram all that in one movie? Listen, this is a problem. This is a problem. If what Bo DeMayo is talking about, if that process is true, this is absolutely a problem. Now, can they salvage it? Maybe. A lot can be fixed in a movie, but I do believe that you're putting a lot of burden on the movie to do all this work that this could have been avoided, right? You didn't have to make this one movie or two movies carry this much weight for you, but it feels like that's what they're doing. Anyway, guys, let me know, what do you think about what Marvel is doing? Let me know if your thoughts on Bo DeMayo's commentary. Do you side with him? Is this disturbing to you? Like, whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Uh, Archer, how you work for Marvel and don't like comic books? Seriously, seriously. Or at the very least, how do you not become a fan over time? Like, I get it. If you started off with Marvel, you're like, man, I'm just here for the movies. I don't know. Like, if this was my business, I would become a comic book fan. Just to add to your money making potential. Just become a fan. How about that? Quiet one. ChatGPT could have handled that assignment better than their method. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sad but true. Sad but true. Chris, don't read the comics only means that they want a story already they want a story already told. Writers and directors lie and say they don't know who the character is to get hired. Yeah, probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they go about it. I'm sure Marvel wants they don't want those stories retold. I'm sure that that's they don't want them to read it so that way they're not copying that. They want something original, but at the same time, you have to know elements from those stories to know what resonated, and then you can put that in something original. Like, I don't need a Spider-Man origin story. I don't need a Venom origin story verbatim. All I need you to do is know that Spider-Man and Venom, it's on site. It's on site violence. That's what I need you to know in your original story. But I got you, man. I hear you. All right, Quiet One. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate this very generous donation. Do you think it works in Marvel's best interest for X-Men? They do a soft launch of each character in upcoming movies like they did Black Panther and Civil War, or do you think they should just drop all the characters in the movie like DC's Justice League? I think that if the reports and rumors are true, it is better to just go ahead and just make an X-Men movie based off of a soft reboot of the universe. In other words, and this is what I've always said, because I know people have always said, hey, they got the rights, just throw the X-Men in. No, it doesn't make sense. Part of the reason that makes X-Men so unique is that they are one of the few characters that are uniquely tied to societal history. They are byproducts of the history. There is no X-Men if you don't have the society that makes the X-Men necessary in the first place. You need a world that has a history of bigotry and discrimination against mutants for X-Men to even be conceived by Charles Xavier, right? So you can't just sit here and throw them in and just be like, oh, there's a mutant, there's a mutant, no, it's not going to work. It doesn't make sense because you're going to have questions like, yo, where have you been? Yo, what's going on? And this is one of the reasons why the Kamala Khan thing, no one cares, right? Hey, by the way, you're not a clandestine or whatever. You're actually a mutant. No one cares. It does not have the same impact versus coming from a world where all these characters mean something because they can't live in this world because of the discrimination. So I don't believe that they should sprinkle them in. I do think that doing the soft restart is the best way to go about it. And that'll probably be the best way for them to tell better stories. So thank you so much, Quiet One. I appreciate you for that, for sure. Kat, what is going on? This year is why DC takes over in comic movies. First time in 17 years. This year, huh? Maybe. I mean, I do think that Superman was probably equal or maybe even better than Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. Maybe we'll see if Peacemaker can make some more noise. That's possible. I can't say that it's ready for a full takeover yet because we don't know what else DC can do cinematically when James Gunn, who's already a proven really good, solid director, we don't know what happens when he's not in the director's chair. Does he make good hiring decisions? Did he put the right people in place? We don't know. The Batman 2 is still not here yet, so I do think that that'll be good, especially with Clayface. I'm trusting those two properties. But to be honest, I think that this is more so not even a DC Marvel thing. I think that both of them are gonna cook in the next couple years. I don't want to bet, even if I do have my critiques, I'm not betting against Avengers movies, because the thing with Avengers movies is those are made for like general audiences. And if it's a general audience crowd pleaser, that's probably good enough, right? So, um, I think DC is making a great start for itself. It is on the right path so far. I haven't seen Peacemaker yet, but if Peacemaker is even remotely as good as the first season, then I do think that that's another good, solid start for it. But yeah, I would just say, like, hold your horses, hold your horses. Don't, you know what I'm saying? What do they say? Don't count all your eggs before they're hatched. Just, just slow down, slow down. I do think it's a good start, but I don't think we about to get into the whole, like, DC is winning thing yet. Even though Marvel's got some struggles, Marvel Marvel's struggles are still things that would be considered wins for other studios. Sony wishes they had Marvel's problems. They wish they had Marvel's problems. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they would love to have Marvel's problems, but they have their own. So, but anyway, I agree with you though. I definitely think that this is a bright spot for DC, and hopefully it continues. Hopefully it continues. I don't hate either one. I'm not picking no sides. I want both of them to get better and to do better and to be better. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. All right, guys, that's it. I told you I could do it under 3 hours. Told you. Only what, 20 some odd minutes left. Anyway, that's all I got. So again, if you guys are down for it, I will go ahead. We could start doing Peacemaker. We could start doing Alien Earth if you're interested. By the way, Alien Earth is very adult. It is graphic. It is not for the faint of heart. So if you are a scary face, if you don't like violence, Alien Earth is not for you. But yeah, if y'all are down for it, I think I'll put up a poll just to kind of see how many people are down for it. But yeah, we could definitely talk about it. And then of course we can get into Peacemakers. Well, I'm gonna see if I can get some screeners. I don't know. Either way, we can do that. So all right, guys, that's all I got. Make sure you guys have a wonderful, safe weekend. Enjoy yourselves, have a good time. You know the routine, wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. And until next time, guys, see you guys later.